Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weighted to Win. Let's get on to our second race on the card here out at Greyville, Hollywood Bets Greyville. No change of distance, 1750 metres now since the move from Scottsville, Columbia Road for Tony Riverland. A very good winner last time, Tony Riverland, that we saw in the winners' enclosure. So they're still in good form, top of the boards, Darren. So top of the boards in terms of buypots, or what's the plan here?
To me, it's a field race, Clyde. This filly Columbia Road did over race slightly last time, and they're putting the blinkers on. That's my concern. I'm not getting involved in race two.
Okay, well, then let's just chat to Daryl Marie about the second race from a bipot perspective. What's the plan, Daryl?
Clyde, I'm happy to bank number 3, Escapologist. I think she's going to love the extra. That form line is really holding up. We've seen Ed VJ win from there. We've seen Chelsea Blue run 2 seconds. Catalaya Summer indirectly won. And Shona Kirsty Ive. So she's shown me enough to be confident in bankering her in the first leg of the bypass.
All right, let's hope the Mark Dixon stable comes to the fore for us. Let's put the bipot up, Daryl Marie's bipot. Race number 2, and you'll take a look at what the plan is over there as the numbers go up onto the screen. And remember, the bipot starting right now, and you can spend on this particular bipot 128 Rand. On to the third race. Let's get our place accumulators on now. The Christmas PA, it's Christmas week, and McCartney, number 5, is top of the boards at the moment. Does appear to be the right horse in the race. Daryl, I know that you banked this in your bipot as well, so you must be confident with McCartney, Daryl Marie.
Yes, Clyde, you can just put a line through his later starts. He fly jumped at the pens. He was slow into stride. He raced wide, and he basically just overdid things. I think now that he's coming back to the 1200, please take note the blinkers are off, so he is not a blinker strike. But that form line was franked indirectly with Action Time. I think in this lineup, I'll be distraught if he misses the top 3.
Okay, so we're hoping for the PA, for the bipots and PAs to survive here. Darren, your take on McCartney or anything else?
Well, Clyde, I think my last 13 best bets just about arrived. 12 out of the last 13, and this is my best bet on the card, McCartney. Now, his comeback run, second to Geronimo, he was just in need of the run, and I watched him carefully last time out. He was caught 3 or 4 wide around the bend and didn't find a finish. The drop back in trip, peak fitness, everything in his favour, the draws in his favour, and his main danger, Captain Rocket's drawn out wide. So I think he'll win.
Thanks. Good news to know that Darren's been in the good form that he has been. So, all right, let's put the place accumulator up now as we start race number 3 on the card. And Daryl's worked out the PAs and looking light in the first half of the place accumulator. And then as the day goes on, it does seem to get a whole lot tougher. But that's a 192 Rand place accumulator that's on the screen. Okay, it's Pick 6 time here and Weighted to Win. Christmas week it is, race 4 and 1200 metre race where Gold Index tops the boards for the Michael Miller, Serena Moody teaming up. They top of the boards at the moment, but in terms of the market, does appear to be open because the Muscat Yard's got the source Axel Collins in here as second choice, that Tristan Godden's riding, and Musieni's taking the ride for Dougie Campbell, whom we saw had a winner the other day. They're on Lazy Guy. Tony Riverland, who's been the talk of the morning, Harley Street, well, during the preview anyway this morning, when doing this at 10 o'clock, Harley Street's in the market as well. Go to Darren Burrows first. Let's talk about first leg of the Pick 6, Darren.
Well, I believe this horse, Lazy Guy, could finally get it right at the 24th time of asking. Last time out, he was caught deep around the bend, and he still ran a very good second behind Pascali. He had Gold Index behind him. I know Gold Index was making his debut. He made up a lot of ground late. I'm hoping to get through the Pick 6 only with numbers 2 and 11.
All right, so you're on 2 and 11 because it does become a little bit harder as the day goes on. But Daryl Marie, let's talk about it. I know in your place accumulator, you had a banker in this leg.
Yes, Clyde. I was happy to bank number 2 Gold Index just because he only had his debut effort and he was a length and a half behind Lazy Guy. He was staying on. I would be super bullish if it was a mile. I think he could be found out over the 1200, but he's good enough to bank in the PA. I make his immediate danger Lazy Guy. Darren touched on the fact that he was caught 3 wide last time out. Um, but surely Gold Index has got more scope for improvement than what Lazy Guy has. So that's the reason behind my thought process in banking number 2 Gold Index. But I believe, I do read this race the same way as Darren does. It should be fought out between numbers 2 and 11.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the pick six. As you heard Darren say that he was also going 2 and 11. Both guys on the same page. And that's pretty much what the numbers look like. 2 and 11 in the first leg. And you'll know the last leg we're going to depend on just a couple. There's the cost for you. So the middle of the day does get much, much harder, as you can see. And this first leg is very important to us. On to race number 5 now, jackpot time, 1750 meters this distance, and Bots is top of the board. Knows how to put it together at Greyville, Bots. Darren, perhaps the right horse in the race. I know pick sixes, you got a few.
Clyde, I just had a look at Bots's pedigree. His damn fly by night. She was a top sprinter. I don't know if she won the Cape Flying Championships, but she was an out and out sprinter. And he's by William Longsword. I'm not sure he'll see out 1800 meters. So for that reason, I'm looking towards horses like Pascali. On pedigree, he's going to love the step up in trip. Paris Pike's done nothing wrong since being stepped up in trip. I made it between numbers 4 and 5. I did go 4, 5, 6, and 8 in the pick 6.
All right, so you got a few. Daryl, your take on the race?
Clyde, if you look at the comments in the computer form with regards to Bots, respiratory noises, now he's going the extra trip in soft underfoot conditions. I've got my doubts whether he's going to enjoy being stepped up in trip. So for that reason, I'm leaning towards the likes of number 4, Pascali. Last time out, we heard from Garth Puller. He's coming back in trip to sharpen him up a bit, and he came up on the connections. They thought it was going to be over a trip too short for him, but he really finished well on that occasion. He's going to love being stepped up to the 1750, so he's my top pick. I've got respect for number 1, Pongola. He's by Ideal World out of a dam or a mare that I think Mark the Cock trained, and she stayed herself. So I think he's going to love the step up in trip 2. So for me, it's 4 from 1.
Okay, so there's a little bit of doubt about Bots being on the softer track and going with 1750 now. Right, let's put our slide up what we want to do. This is a jackpot race for the guys, and Daryl Marie has worked out a jackpot. He's going horses throughout this particular pot, and that's the amount there at the bottom that you can spend. Have a look at it and get your jackpots on now. Race number 5. Let's get now on to race number 6, dropping distance, and Twice Golden and Haybill seem to be the dominating pair, Darren. And I see a few scratchings have come through this race as well.
Yes, Clyde, I actually had 4, 8, 9, and 12, but 9 and 12 have been scratched. Twice Golden loves a soft track. He's back to best. He'll love the step up in trip. I make him the horse to beat, and I made the main danger Haybill.
All right, so you got those two. Daryl, what are you depending on here?
Clyde, I've also narrowed it down between the 2 runners. That's Twice Golden and Haybill. I got a slight preference for Haybill because it is being run at Greyville. If it was Scottsville, I'd definitely be leaning towards number 8, Twice Golden. I have thrown in number 10, Rockfall, into my perms. I just believe he's better than his latest 2 starts. He needs to be ridden cold and do his best work at the finishing stages. I believe he has been too handy in his last 2 starts, so I'm hoping to see improvement from number 10, Rockfall.
Yeah, okay, well, that's a 20-1 shot that you've put into the play. Let's put our slides up here, have a look at what we plan on doing now in this race. It's the second jackpot. Darren's gone 4, 8, and 12. You notice that Daryl does like this horse, Rockfall. You may want to add it in. Then Darren goes field, and 2 and 13 at the back of the second jackpot. Race number 7, one of the more difficult races, judging what the guys are going. Darren, you went field in some of your perms, am I right?
I did, Clyde. I thought, a horse like Only Hearts on that run behind Amina in the Golden Slipper. She's 6.5 kilos better off with Woodland Retreat for a 2-length beating. So those 2 are for the shortlist, but they're returning after breaks. I made this field wide open.
Okay, so the tough race for your side. Well, there are a number of horses that can win. Daryl, on your case, I know your jackpots. I think you also went wide.
Yes, Clyde, not only on the Golden Slipper run is only Hearts better off with Woodland Retreat, but go back to the Debonair run. She's 6.5 kilograms for a 2.25 length beating. So I'm very surprised to see Woodland Retreat so short in the market. Our first pick has to be number 2, Princess T. Now, she loves the sticky underfoot conditions. She's recorded 2 victories and 2 seconds. She's in cracking form from a neat draw. There's no reason why she shouldn't be right there once again. So, in order, 2, 4, 8, and 10.
Okay, 2, 4, 8, and 10, but it's an open race. Let's have a look at what we suggest one does here in this particular event. Daryl's taken that exacta 2, 4, 8, and 10 as already stated. That's the play. Race number 7. Eighth race on the card, one of those that's open field race again. MJ Udendale's been in good form though, Darren. He's got Movie Magic top of the boards. What do you like?
Yeah, Movie Magic, he could run well, but it is 1,000 meters, and he's not a 1,000 meter horse. I do give him a chance. I thought Happy Wanderer, Samanga Kamalo gets on really well with this horse, and he's going to be suited by the track and trip. I think he's a massive runner, especially being the soft underfoot conditions. Others to consider: Quest for the Best, Philly Spiel, Gunsmoke. There are a few with chances, but Happy Wanderer looks the best of the lot.
Okay, Happy Wonder on your side. They are betting Daryl 5 to 1 the field. Yeah, what's your take?
Yeah, at those odds, I recommend a small nibble on number 5, Happy Wanderer. He's also my top pick, Clyde. You can see he's been close up recently off a higher rating. He's now at 57. He has to be competitive. Go back to that run on the 20th of November. He's 2 kilograms better off for a half a length beating by number 8, Quest for the Best. I'm expecting him to reverse that form. So 5, 8, and 1 are my preferences in race number 8.
Okay, so you both prefer Happy Wanderer here. All right, well, this is the penultimate of the day. Here's the plan, guys. So what we want to do, Happy Wanderer, Daryl is siding with that. He, in fact, is making that the horse to beat, hard to beat. And at those odds, he believes it's worth a nibble. Ninth and final, can Dennis Dreyer and Sean Veal close the day here? Darren with Reefway, or what's the plan?
Yes, Clyde, I like this filly quite a lot. In her penultimate start over course and distance, she turned into the straight, I think, 10 or 11 lengths off the speed, and she got beat a length and a half. She was absolutely flying. She's got the draw in her favour. She can hold her position, and in this type of company, her ratings dropped 3 points. I expect her to go very close. The danger I made Magna Marta, being disappointing, but drops in class.
All right, so you're quite confident with Reefway. Daryl, your side?
Yes, Clyde, strictly on paper, you have to give a chance to number 5, Quanabi, if you like the chances of number 2, Reefway. She holds her on the fabulous run, and she's only a kilogram worse off. So she shouldn't be too far off Reefway. I must admit, Reefway's got more scope for improvements. So I do have a slight preference for the 2 over the 5. If you're playing trifectas and quartets, certainly include number 3, Ed VJ. Now, her latest 2 turf starts have been her best efforts to date. I think she's improving with racing. She'll be thereabouts. And number 6, Meredith Gray. Now, despite pulling in her later start, she still got the job done. She needs to settle in running, and she should be thereabouts. But a tricky event to end off proceedings.
Okay, thanks for that, Daryl. So we've got a couple of your shrewdies over there that may have to go into the play like for 3 and 5, but Reefway the one to beat. This is the last race. This is what it looks like from a perspective of what the guys want to do. Darren does like Reefway's quite big on Reefway here, with a couple of shrewdies coming from Daryl. That's the wrap of the last. Waited to win.